Joined Councillor Ben Harris-Quinney, who's chairman of the Bow Group and director of Conservative Grassroots. Ben, very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the program. Is this tax still a policy for the party, a policy idea?
No, it isn't. I think what we're seeing is Jackie Doyle-Price obviously stopped receiving the signal from the mothership, and she's still talking about a policy that the Conservative Party were promoting during the general election campaign, but very quickly abandoned when it became clear just how unpopular it was. Unfortunately for the government, Jackie Doyle-Price does happen to be the Minister for Elderly Care, and so why the Minister for Elderly Care doesn't know what the government's own policy is not clear. But it seems that Theresa May and Philip Hammond are not supporting her and have clarified that this is not still Conservative Party policy.
Perhaps it's reflective of the kind of turmoil the Tory party is in at the moment with itself.
Well, I don't think you could chalk this up to Brexit or a cold or Grant Shapps leadership challenge. I think this is just one of those strange foibles. But certainly it's embarrassing for the government, particularly as this policy really was the thing that completely tanked the Conservative Party at the general election and made the difference, in my opinion, between having quite a decent majority and obviously having to form a confidence and supply agreement with the DUP. So it's really a policy that you don't want coming back to haunt you.
Ben, I mean, the Bow Group, I think, intervened and spoke to the party when this policy was announced in the run-up to the election. What was the outcome then? When this was pointed out to the Tory party, what was the reaction?
Well, we had advanced sight of the manifesto, and it wasn't a particularly big section of the Conservative manifesto, and we didn't actually realise that Theresa May was going to make such focus on this policy in her speech introducing the manifesto. But it became clear that what this policy really said was that the government can take everything but the last £100,000 from people's estate, which for most people means the government will be taking potentially several £100,000 when they pass away. That obviously they won't be able to leave to anyone in inheritance. And we worked out that would represent by far the largest wealth tax in history. One of the biggest taxes in general that we'd ever have seen being brought in British history. So
you and I both remember the reaction when it was announced, but somebody somewhere thought this was a good idea to stick in the manifesto.
Yeah, well, it led to the Prime Minister's closest advisors being fired, but when we challenged the Conservative Party on it, as they often do, they doggedly stuck to their guns. I think if they'd been quicker to react, they might have been able to salvage the general election. But I certainly don't think we'll be seeing a return to the policy despite Jackie Doyle-Price's mistake, because it is just so clear how unpopular and indeed unfair it is. I mean, this is the Conservative Party as well. It's not a party that's supposed to be taking people's hard-earned money away. And it would be enough, like the poll tax was for Margaret Thatcher, to bring down this government, I think.
Ben, thank you for joining us. Ben Harris-Quinney, Councillor Ben Harris-Quinney, chairman of the Bow Group and director of Conservative Grassroots, on the latest with that story.